I have never in my entire life purchased a manga until I think it was a few weeks ago that I bought this. Today, what came in for me is Gabriel and the Guardians. This is a very well done story. It was short, very short. I definitely wanted more as I was reading, but I'm guessing this is the first foray. This is issue 0, if I'm not mistaken. So there's more to come. Hopefully, some of the other books are longer, but if they're not longer, I can, be fine with this as well. There's a lot of, for those of you who are Bible nerds, Bible geeks, who I would consider myself a Bible geek. I have a whole Bible podcast channel for those of you who didn't know. That's actually how I started on YouTube, was my Bible channel. And then I started this channel. Initially, it was on news and politics, but I made a video about comic books. People love comic books. The video got traction. And I said, you know what? I enjoy talking about this way more than news and politics anyway. So I went with it. Anyway, Gabriel and the Guardians. For those, like I said, who are Bible nerds, Bible geeks, there are so many references that are not so if you think this is going to be a Bible story, it's not a Bible story, but it is infused with Bible truths. There was something said, and I can't remember who said it, and I know I read something. I read this in an article on Fandom Pulse maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, that sometimes Christians don't necessarily know how to make good entertainment. And this is the thing. I love reading things that are overtly biblical. I love that. C.S. Lewis, the Screw Tape Letters. Look, let me tell you something. If you want sci-fi, could I call it sci? Yeah, I guess you could consider it sci-fi-ish, but based on a Bible truth, like not loosely based. When I read the Screw Tape Letters, I was going back to my Bible, referencing Bible verses and Bible accounts as I was reading that book. That book brought me to a great many Bible truths, and it was written so magnificently that it is a very well done book. So I don't have any problem with that. There's a way to do that and do it right and to do it with quality. But sometimes I think Christians attempt to get into the realm of just pure entertainment, not necessarily telling a Bible story. They just, they made some story up. They have some tale that they thought of in their mind, and they want to bring that thing to life. And sometimes there is an imbalance of quality and approach. These guys, I don't believe, have that problem. This story was done very tightly, and the calls to the scripture, like the things that were calls to the scripture, were very evident, but it did not detract from the story. It added to the story, and it made me want to read more. I felt like, even though this is my first time reading Gabriel and the Guardians, I kind of felt like I was part of the story in some ways because I didn't feel lost. Another thing that was different for me, and I've only known about this because my children are into manga. These books don't read like we read our books. As a matter of fact, it says on the back of the book, this, I don't know if you can see it, this book reads from right to left, not the way that we read. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Hebrew writing is done in that way. I think there's many Semitic languages that are done in that way, if I'm not mistaken. So that was interesting. It was different. It's unique. What I do like about manga, and I know some manga books are colored, if I'm not mistaken, correct me in the comments because this is definitely not my wheelhouse. But I believe most manga are uncolored. And here's what I love about that. And this kind of goes back to what I've been doing and reviewing John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere, because it's all pencil. And I'm starting to believe I was thinking to myself, should Marvel color that if they publish it, or should they put it out just the way it is? I'm torn. Maybe a color version and a version that's just John Byrne raw pencil work just as it is, maybe inked in but just left. But I really did like the artwork. I like the pencil work on this book. The ability of a person to get you to understand daytime and nighttime and lighting and shadows and things like that with just pencil work, to me, is amazing. That is an amazing talent to be able to do that. And I really liked it. Let me see if I want to open it up and show you one of these panels so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, because man, I really think it was done very, very well. And so I've been wanting to check out some different works of manga, and I might buy some. So I don't know if you could see that. I'll just show you real quick. I think it's done right. I think if you are a fan of manga, I think you will like this book. I think you would. This is a book that you would definitely want to have, and I really appreciate the work that the team put in developing this book. You can tell they weren't they were doing it in a timely manner, but they weren't rushing. And I think sometimes when people endeavor to put out their works to share with the world something they've been working on, sometimes there is a tendency to rush. I kind of experienced that initially when I started my YouTube channel. I just wanted to rush to get videos out. And look, I'm not going to sit up here like it takes me, some unearthly amount of work to do my videos. Now, it is depending. My comic book narrative videos where I do my 3-minute origins, those take a long time. There is a lot of work that goes into those videos. So I understand the desire to get something out quickly, but I also understand from doing those videos that I like to take my time. I really do like to take my time. So I wanted to go to this. They have a website, Colossal Studios. So this book was put out in conjunction with Rippa Sin. Rippa Sin put this book out, done by Colossal Studios in conjunction with Angel Studios. I think that's how it works. I'm not exactly sure how all of that plays out. But needless to say, I think that the way Rippa Sin does business is good business. I said this in an X post. I bought this book and received it in a timely manner within a reasonable amount of time. And that might seem like a small thing, but man, nowadays there's a lot of independent creators that take a long time to get work on. Look, I get it. I understand there's a lot of work involved that goes into getting this stuff out. For some reason, my page is paused, so give me a second so I can adjust this so you can see this full page here in all of its glory. I don't know why it's paused there. Let's see. Brave. No, that's what I'm on. Brave. I don't want to be on studio. I don't want to be on that. Let me see. Gotta fix my capture screen. Let's see. Maybe I want to do application capture. And nope. Oh, yep. Let's see. Brave. Nope. It's only gonna get half of it. See, this what happens with. There we go. There we go. Just had to adjust that real quick. Okay, so I wanted to read you a little bit off of their website. Pretty interesting stuff. Colossal Studios is primarily engaged in building the brand of Gabriel and the Guardians. We will initially do this by creating the animated series. Our leadership team has over 70 years of experience in animation, having worked on such titles as The Lion King, Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, Winnie the Pooh, Tom and Jerry, Rick and Morty, Superbook, Supernatural Sid, and the Wing Feather Saga, to name a few. That's a lot of things that they've worked on. We begin development on Gabriel and the Guardians in 2020. Our goal is to begin production of series 1 of season 1, in 2023 with the launch of Q1 2025, which they've already gotten to that across the Asian and North American regions with a worldwide distribution thereafter. We have partnered with Angel Studios, 30 million plus users, for global distribution, marketing, and merchandising. Angel Studios will also act as our sales agent for other platforms, broadcasters, and networks. I think this is a good business model that they have going on. And you see how all of these different independent content houses are really forming something quite colossal, because this, in conjunction with Rip a Sin, and they've been able to now put this book out, and I'm sure they're going to put out a lot more books. I'm looking forward to what's to come. I think this first book was to whet your appetite, so to speak, and they did a good job. This feels like an epic tale of fantasy, and I liked it. I really liked it. I'm trying to think of something. I can't really think of anything that it reminded me of, but I'm sure those of you who are into manga, I'm sure you will say what this reminds you of. I'm sure there's something out there it does. Keep up with Colossal. Follow Colossal to get an inside peek behind the scenes and have the chance to be part of the production. Take a seat at the producer's table. See how an animated series comes to life from storyboard to your TV. I like that. And then there's some of the creators. Jason Andrew Moody, founder, creator, art director, animated series art director for Sid Roth's Supernatural Sid. 15 plus years experience in content creation, media development, and filmmaking for JP Morgan Chase. As a kid, he dreamed of starting Colossal Studios and has been working toward that goal ever since. Respect, sir, respect. David Evan Cunningham, founder, showrunner, writer, TV series creator, producer, screenwriter. 7+ years experience in television, animation with over 40 screen credits, including Superbook, Gizmo Go, and the Wing Feather Saga. In 2020, he developed and co-created the new children's animated series, Gizmo Go. All right. Albert Francis Moore, founder, producer, supervisor, producer, shot finaling supervisor, FX animator, 2D animation specialist, 25+ years experience in animation at studios including Disney, Feature Animation, and CBN. His 50+ screen credits include The Lion King, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tarzan, Superbook, and Gizmodo. So these are no slouches. These aren't guys that just woke up yesterday and decided, you know what, we're gonna make a go at this whole manga and animated series thing. These are veterans with experience that have now put their heads together to create something new and independent. This is why I always say there is definitely cause for excitement. There are independent creations out there that are worth your money, worth your time, and they are frankly delivering.